In this video, I'll be talking about many different types of GTA 5 lore, going over several different lore bits, some you've heard of, some you haven't heard of. And in this video, we'll be discussing all that and possibly maybe going over some weird stuff, but hey, this is GTA 5. It's already weird enough. And so, grab your snacks, grab your favorite drink, mine being water, and let's get into this very big lore dump of a whole bunch of random lore that I found on the GTA wiki. So let's do this. Why did Trevor not object to killing Dave during the third way? And also, why did he never take any chances in killing Dave during any point during the storyline? Trevor and Dave's relationship is a very complicated relationship. It goes as far as back as prologue. And even after that point, Trevor had already harbored a deep vendetta against Dave, because it was Dave who started parading his success of taking down the most infamous heisting group in all of the Americas. And by that point, Trevor was filled with every bit of emotion, that being revenge, sadness, and not to mention a deep-seated hatred for the man who supposedly killed his best friend and put his other best friend in a federal penitentiary. But unknown to Trevor, his former best friend had actually betrayed him and actually had sold the entire crew out for a life in Los Santos. Instead of Brad being in a federal penitentiary and Michael being 10 feet in a grave, Michael was living comfortably in Los Santos and Brad was 6 feet underground in a grave marked Michael Townley. And during this time, as the crew are working together, since they have been already indescribably, well, they have been coerced into helping the government to help them get funding for their corrupt operations that they want to go under. But during this point, Trevor and Michael go on these operations, coerced by Dave as well as his corrupt counterpart Steve Haynes. And during this point, during the mission by the book, Trevor tries to see if Dave ever remembers him, as he's already been established that Dave was the one who took down Michael and the rest of the crew. But after a short while spent in the desert after the events of Caída Libre, the crew eventually returns back to Los Santos, and after a quick scope out for the Union Depository job, Michael then gets a visit from Trevor, and eventually Trevor finds out the truth about what happened with Michael.
Let me just ask you something, all right? Something I've been thinking about. Up in North Yankton, exactly who was buried in your place?
I never gave it any thought.
You know what I'm thinking?
I had no clue.
You treacherous piece of shit! You're dead. You're dead! Trevor! Hey! T! What happens in the dark comes out in the light.
Oh, give it a rest, Trevor. There's nothing there.
This is it. Moment of truth. As if I didn't know. Brad!
By this point, Trevor is pretty much overblown with rage. Not only towards Michael, but there's one thing that really makes no sense. Why did Trevor not go completely after Dave? If he knew that Dave was complicit in their deal and was the one who instigated the deal, then he would probably be the first person alongside Michael to be on his hit list. But honestly, the only person he seems to be mad with is actually Michael. But why did he not do that? Well, for one thing, Dave was also still a high-ranking FIB agent and would pretty much bring undue attention towards him and his operation. Already, not to mention Trevor was already locked in a very big, massive turf war with Merryweather as well. But at the end of the game, during the third way, where the gang leads all of Merryweather as well as the FIB into a trap at the foundry, the gang then devises a plan to take out their former business associates, that being Steve Haynes, Devin Weston, Wei Chang, and even Franklin's pal Stretch. But also, Trevor brings up another person, that being Dave. But Michael quickly shoots that option down and I quote, he says this, so that way no one can f with us afterwards. But why did Trevor not object to that opinion? The reason why Trevor didn't go after Dave is actually because Dave really was the more sensible one. Dave had less risk to him. He was not the most chaotic of the pair, as well as Steve was also the one far more dangerous. Steve held a higher position in the FIB. He was more willing to kill every single one of the crew in order to protect his public image. And Dave would also be one of those fall guys in order for Steve to continue to be the high-ranking FIB agent that he already was. Not to mention, by the end of GTA 5's story, we also get a email or text message, I don't know which one of the two, I'll play it on the screen, of Dave actually messaging Trevor and basically just saying, hey, it was me. I know you hate me, but we dealt with the people that tried to kill you, blah blah blah, and all that. And I think, but honestly, by this point, but Trevor really doesn't seem to be harboring much aggression towards Dave. And honestly, by that point, Michael and Trevor's relationship are pretty much all patched up, and Trevor pretty much forgives Michael for what he did. As Trevor understands, even though Trevor does feel the same sentiment that since he betrayed the group and betraying every bit of loyalty that Trevor had for him, he still understands that Michael still technically had to protect his family, which is one of the reasons probably why he ultimately forgave him, as well as forgiving Dave, since Dave was the one who was complicit in that, but all to kind of help Michael get out of the life of crime that he just wanted to leave altogether. Why did Stretch betray the families as well as Franklin and Lamar? Harold Joseph, aka Stretch, is an OG member of the Chamberlain gangster families, or aka the CGF. But before the events of GTA 5, he went away for a particularly unknown crime, which is not really openly explained by any of the protagonists or any other people associated with the Chamberlain gangster families. After a while, Lamar would actually text Franklin saying that Stretch is going to be released soon and he's going to go pick him up from the penitentiary. Stretch's main first appearance is in his premiere mission called Long Stretch. In this mission, Stretch as well as Lamar go and see Franklin at his aunt's house after he just argued with his aunt after boundaries. But during this time, Franklin and Stretch get into a bit of a heated argument.
What this fool just say?
I missed you, dawg.
Oh, you miss me, huh?
Nah, I ain't missed you. Your ass could have stayed gone for good. So I f***ed your girl, mugged your moms, and better yet, I ain't thought about your ass in years.
Ha ha, you got jokes now, huh? Hey, but I see you doing well for yourself. Check that on out.
Shit, I'm doing just fine.
That's what I hear. But I know some sweet boys up in the pen that got bigger balls than you.
Oh, you been doing your time looking at sweet boy balls?
Oh.
Yeah, it's good to have confirmation.
This funny Why you keep hanging around this clown, L? Shake this fool,
We
man.
from the same set, Stretch. Why y'all can't get along? Y'all been doing this shit for years, man.
You know what, dawg? It's good you back home. Glad you here. Missed you, boy. Damn, you definitely got hit up inside.
Hit up? Hey. Yo, motherfucker, I know little niggas like you been turned out on the daily, talking about being hit up. I swear, man, you ain't got no motherfucking respect.
Motherfucker, I got respect for reality.
Reality? All right, you keep thinking that. Just keep thinking that. Shit, you gonna get yours.
But afterwards, the gang heads off to the gun store to collect some weapons and heads off to Lamar's super secret deal with his, secret contact.
What's up, fool?
What up with
We
it?
got that shit with a paper at. I'm talking about buku bills.
Lamar Davis. What's up, boy? Everything cool?
Hold on, man. What the f***? Man, you was just kidnapping this nigga.
Oh,
come on,
You
dawg.
don't real
F.
recognize real.
D, my nigga, just got out crossing lines, did some time with some of your folks.
Hey, look, this ain't about you, man.
What?
You know these niggas done
Yo, what the f is Trick talking about, man?
Yeah.
What's that? Somebody
See,
creeping on
they
us?
putting on TV, man, about some gang intervention shit. Hey, this ain't the police, dawg. This some ballers bullshit.
That's some
man.
bullshit.
You,
What's up with
hey,
this
we been
bull?
set up. This shit.
You snake mother shit. Oh, bitch ass ballers.
But after some more scuffle with some more Ballers members, the trio eventually escapes back to Franklin's aunt's house, and after a quick banter with Stretch, we kind of see how kind of entitled Stretch is. Stretch is very much an entitled member of the family. He shows that even though he went to prison, and even gloats during the mission, saying that they should still respect him, even though they've already grown, they've already ranked up higher in the gang itself, which is interesting because even Lamar respects him.
Come on, let's go.
Shit, homie, you gonna drop all that bread on that gear, you might as well get a haircut too.
Crazy-haired microphone motherfucker.
I got a microphone I can shove right in your prison pocket. You walk like you Keistner and shit anyway.
You know, when I went away, you punks was little homies, and I was a big homie. Now I'm out, and you little homies is big homie, but you still gotta respect.
Man, what the f this talking about?
We all big homies, but he bigger, right?
Exactly.
Man, that's some pyramid scheme bullshit.
Pyramids is good, man. Illuminati pharaoh shit.
But after the mission, we see how much of a parasite Stretch can be. He sees respect as lower tier members of the gang paying up to him and saying that the only way you can survive in the gang is by paying respect. But honestly, Franklin doesn't believe in that. Franklin is showing himself to be someone who feels like the gang lifestyle is no longer for him, and the only way for him the only way for him to survive is for him to get out of the gang by going more legitimate and doing more professional crimes. And already Franklin knows that, and he already tries to get Lamar on board with a lot of these more professional crimes. But Stretch sees him as nothing more than a sellout. He sees him as just someone who betrayed the gang lifestyle, trying to go more legitimate, and even trying to see, and even making fun of the fact that he even is going down this route of professional crime, saying the gang is all they have. And even Lamar agrees with him in that certain point. But this will all come to pass as towards the next mission later on in the storyline with Stretch's betrayal, because this would all culminate in the next mission called Hood Safari. Hood Safari is the mission where Stretch actually puts together a deal with Lamar in order to, well, basically give the ball as a peace offering because of what happened at the recycling center. And during this mission, Lamar and Franklin decide to go down the Grove Street, with Trevor tagging along as an willing participant of what's going on. But after a while, and Trevor pointing out the fact during the deal that the buyer is being kind of shady and also not willing to show them the other side of the brick they're trying to buy. Trevor then tries to forcibly grab the brick, but eventually the group finds out that the brick is actually completely fake and it's only half the actual product they were supposed to buy. But this actually culminates in every Ballas gang member eventually turning their guns on the trio, which then results in Grove Street erupting into a giant firefight, eventually resulting in several Ballas gang members being shot, and eventually the trio escaping to the Ellis River on jet skis acquired from the famous rapper MC Clip. But after the mission was completed, Franklin can actually phone Stretch and actually tell him about what actually happened.
I need to speak to you fast.
Oh, is that right? Shit, I need to speak to your ass too.
What you taking some crazy white dude around the hood for, huh?
Cause that crazy white dude's the only reason why we ain't buy a brick of plaster, motherfucker. He the reason why we still breathing.
It look bad, little homie.
Man, I don't give a f how it look, big homie. Matter of fact, let me ask your ass something. Why you set us up with a motherfucker that try to run a lick on us and clap us any way?
That shit was real till you and your geek friend f***ed it up. That's on you, punk.
So actually during this time, you can actually call Stretch several times throughout the storyline, and actually he'll even demand a cut of the Franklin's actual high-end car job that he's doing for Devin Weston. And of course, Franklin will not give anything because Franklin doesn't pay up anything to someone like Stretch.
Hey, what up, Stretch?
Hey, man. Round the way, they saying you got this high-end whip lick on the go. Is that what's up?
Man, don't listen to them snitches, homie. You know what's happening.
Where my cut, mother? You got to bring the OG in, you dig?
Nah, I don't dig, mother. I ain't into that pyramid shit no more. Man, that gangbanging time warp shit is done.
Man, when you win, little homie. I'm gonna get my end.
Is that right? Well, good luck with that.
But this all culminates down to the final event that really cements why Stretch betrayed the families. Because it all culminates to one mission and one mission only. Lamar down. This explains a lot. Now, during Lamar down, Franklin gets a ring from Tanisha as she says that Franklin is in danger of getting turned into, well, wood chips. And of course, Franklin reluctantly goes to save Lamar with some assistance from Michael and Trevor. And during this time, on the way back after saving Lamar, Franklin says this to Lamar, explaining why Stretch sent him out there and why he believed that Stretch sent him against him.
You sure Stretch knew they was gonna book me?
Yeah, Stretch knew. Everybody knew Stretch knew. Tanisha knew Stretch knew, and she don't even come around the hood no more.
Damn, Stretch janky like that?
Man, you don't see this? Man, Stretch been screwing us from the start.
Like from back in the day?
From like the other day, dawg. Since after we went to the recycling place and D and them ballers try to take us down.
But Stretch put in the work on D.
Yeah, man, that's survival. Remember how angry his ass got? Especially with you bringing him into this shit?
Alright, but tell me this though. If Stretch was with your boy LD, why he set us up with the deal for the brick in the first place? He go off and make peace with the ballers, come back, and then put us on the lick on Grove Street.
Man, you remember Grove Street? That brick was drywall. Ripping us off was probably Stretch's ideal anyway.
Damn, you think so?
It makes sense, don't it?
Man, I ain't knowing, man, maybe.
Man, Stretch got in with the ballers when he was inside. Played us as marks, dog, but a bunch of them got booked. So now they gotta come back at us. So Stretch sends you out there where they doing a Kush deal.
Then you show up and save the day.
Yeah, thankfully.
Why exactly did Stretch betray the families, and why did he betray them in prison? Because the reason why is told, and the reason why is because of two reasons. One, because the families were losing power in the area. They even said that Grove Street was no longer even families' territory. They were already divided into different subsets in the hood, and already nowadays they already were more divided than united. They were probably more or less infighting between themselves, and I believe that Stretch knew that. Stretch was actually a member of the families for a long time and knew that they were losing their power in the area, and knew that basically all it was just infighting and basically mindless turf wars that led to nothing and no progress in the area. And all Stretch could do was try and leech off the remaining power that the families had, and basically just try and move on to a better gang. And already the ballers were already more powerful than the families. The families were losing more power as every week, every day, every month, and every member of their gang lost their lives to every little bit of turf war that they were going through. But also, Stretch was also willing to give up Franklin and Lamar, especially for what happened with the kidnapping of D. If you didn't know, Franklin and Lamar a while ago kidnapped a Ballers OG member by the name of D in order to ransom him off for 20 G's or 15 G's. I'll actually put the actual number if they were willing to ransom out. But also, they also were responsible for causing another big massive war with the Ballers, since the Ballers were not happy with them kidnapping not only a member of their gang, but also an OG as well. And that to Stretch was very much a bad move on their end, and Stretch, knowing this, was all but willing to give up Lamar by the end, since Lamar was not able to be controlled. And not to mention that you can also phone Stretch, and Stretch will also ask Franklin to consider giving up Lamar to the Ballers in order to keep the peace.
Stretch.
Franklin, dog, you got to control the homie Lamar. Dude is on one. Ballers are pissed.
Man, ain't nobody controlling Lamar. Not me, not you. Man, you know what? F the ball.
Homie can get controlled, homie, but it's an irreversible process, if you feel me.
Oh, you got jokes, huh, motherfucker? Man, Lamar gonna be fine, dawg.
I hope he is, punk, for both y'all's sakes.
And by this point, we already see how much Stretch is in with the Ballers, as finally, during the third way, when Michael goes to take out Stretch, we see him surrounded by Ballers talking about Lamar and talking about how disrespectful he is to the gang lifestyle.
Davies, disrespectful ass motherfuckers trying to break the order of things. Please, only pair of that Stretch tolerate are the ones that worked this pole last night.
Man, that's bullshit.
You wanna see? I'll show you right here. Watch.
Hey, Lamar and Franklin send their best.
Hey, who this shaky white dude?
And just like that, Harold Stretch Joseph dies by an unknown gunman he knows little about. And by that point, it's never described who exactly took him out. By now, the traitor that was once Stretch is no more. How powerful is Mr. Faber? It's one such question that people have discussed for so long, ever since he made his first appearance in GTA Online during the Money Fronts DLC. And well, there's a lot. He actually controls a lot of Los Santos. So let me explain to all of you guys how powerful he really is and how much influence he has over the city. Now, Faber has two types of connections. He has people he's connected with via business transactions. He has businesses, ventures he's actively invested in via actual companies that he's actually has direct investment in. And of course, we have people who work for him. And of course, we also have the many different types of connections to law enforcement that he has as well. So let's start off with people who he works with. Now, first off, let's talk about the people who he actually does work with. And that are all the people I'm going to be listing down below, which is Martin Madrazo, El Rubio, the Duggans, Tony Prince, Yusuf Amir, and like Martin already says, anyone who got money, which means criminals and other wealthy people, probably some Vinewood stars that probably have some kind of criminal affiliation in some kind of way. Now, we actually have people who work directly for Faber. These are people who work for Faber and are actual employees for him. Most notable ones are Raph and GJ, with Raph being the one who is actually the man in our ear and helps us complete all of Mr. Faber's work during, of course, the Mr. Faber work. And of course, GJ is an actual employee who works for Raph, but actually, of course, works for Mr. Faber as a scouter or as a as a recovery person, like similar to us. And we actually had to go save him in one of these missions. I actually forgot the mission. You guys can I'll put a thing around here where it actually says the actual mission. I'll point over here. But these are the most notable versions of it. But he probably does have other employees, but he also shows very much a different sentiment with them. He shows them he actually is more showing to be more disposable, especially to Raph, as he does state that he actually is very worried as Faber will, if he cannot recover GJ, he will disavow him and will probably have him killed, to cover up his squeaky clean image of him as a banker. And next we actually have his business venture. He has two most notable business ventures. Of course, the first one being No Way, which he has an active investment as stated in the mansion opening cutscene. And of course, the other one, which was established in the Money Front DLC, is pre-luxury real estate, or extra luxury real estate if you would want to go down that way, with luxury real estate being most notably known for developing luxury real estate. And they were most prevalent in the building and modeling of actually building 3 mansions that we can purchase in GTA Online. And of course, No Way is the driverless taxi company that Faber has actually actively invested in as well. And we actually try to take down in the No Way Out storyline, which you can actually watch right over here as I actually discuss all about the GTA Online's mass surveillance network. So you should actually probably go watch that as well. I have a link in the description down below if you haven't already. But finally, let's also talk about law enforcement, because law enforcement is one of those cases, it's one of the most important cases of all, because these are the most dangerous ones that Faber has in his arsenal. And that is, of course, 3 main ones. We have, of course, the FIB, the IAA, and the LSPD, with the FIB being the most notable one in the No Way Out storyline. They are the response for providing Faber with different types of surveillance tech, listening devices, and even the ones who held No Way mercenaries, in fact, to help spy on all and actually help them recover critical data in order to help them send more and more critical information to Faber over, probably the dark net anyways. Now, the next one is actually the IAA. The IAA doesn't really make much an appearance, but it has been theorized by Shocking Rage, or I don't know if I actually said his name right or not, but he's actually theorized that the IAA had actually given Faber access to Clifford, and it's how he was able to develop the mansion AI for our mansions. And the thing is, Lester even teased this in the Doomsday DLC, stating that the Clifford will probably be stuck in some beta or repackaged or some other way. And I do believe, and I do kind of believe this thing, as you don't really develop an artificial intelligence if there's no real basis or something that was based on. You can't just think, or I could be wrong, but It is possible. Now the final one is actually the LSPD, and LSPD is sort of the one I've already talked about. Now the LSPD is actually very prevalent, as I've also stated that they most likely give Faber access to their different types of surveillance cameras across GTA Online, or as well as even GTA 5 as well. It's not to mention that the LSPD has a lot of surveillance cameras across the city, and not to mention I've even stated that the surveillance networks in GTA Online operate with cooperation between between No Way and the LSPD, with Faber acting as the head of this big surveillance network. But really, Faber's power is pretty much unlimited. Faber has his hand in pretty much every single pie in Los Santos. He pretty much has his hand everywhere, and he really does seem like we are able to, stop him. But who really knows? With a new DLC coming around, and it's already information being provided by Rockstar, teasing a new DLC, and also maybe some events happening in GTA Online. I don't really know, but hopefully we get something soon, and hopefully I can make more lore videos about this whole mess, and kind of hopefully we can wrap this storyline up, as I don't think Rockstar really wants to continue this GTA Online story any further. So maybe it ends just like how all GTA stories end, and like in GTA 5 we throw Mr. Faber off the edge of a cliff like Devin does. So maybe it will end like that, but hey, who knows. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.